Having a wonderful holiday. Going on a gondola trip on the Grand Canal tomorrow. Wish you were here.
Wish you were here. And seriously, have you ever thought how simple it is to be there yourself? Thousands of people just like you go abroad every year to see for themselves those magical places that have always tantalized them on picture postcards and awakened longings that at last they can satisfy. It's so easy when a firm like Wallace Arnold takes care of you, because all the organizing is done for you, all the tickets, all the forms, all the hotel bookings. It's easier than arranging your own holiday in England. There's no need to worry about foreign languages, frontiers or customs. The courier deals with them all for you. Foreign money? He'll guide you on that too. And anyway, it's rather fun handling all the strange notes and coins, isn't it? Don't lose it, we don't know what it's worth yet. You're a little suspicious of foreign hotels. Well, what could be more reassuring than this one? Or the Regina Palace Hotel at Stresa, on the beautiful shores of Lake Maggiore. High-class hotels make all the difference to your holiday. Another luxury hotel where the staff will greet you as though you are royalty or even Americans. Yes, there do seem to be a lot of them, but never mind, Wallace Arnold see to the tipping as well. How wonderful to be waited on with such attention and charm. You should try a Riviera Rhapsody, the cocktail made with bottled sunshine. Luggage? Yes, that too is taken care of for you, and it is personally checked by courier and driver at every move. And good hotels or restaurants are chosen for the in-between halts as well. The midday lunch and the morning 11s. Or in continental time, perhaps it should be 11s, 11s or 11s. Good speedy service and tempting snacks. Better postpone that slimming diet until we get home. Of course, you can have plainer food if you prefer it, and what is better than a continental breakfast by the blue Mediterranean, with, if you wish, a good English teapot. On the other hand, if you really have to let yourself go, you can always call for a few light snacks between meals. What, no Yorkshire pudding? So you need have no fear of restrictions or difficulties. There's a wealth of wondrous experience in store for you when you decide to take a pleasure-packed journey into the heart of Europe with Wallace Arnold. Let us look, for example, at his tour. After 3 or 4 days in France and Switzerland, we call at Milan, the native will say Milano, and have plenty of time to stroll in the Piazza del Duomo, the cathedral square. Today, Milan is a city of commerce and industry, where modern apartment blocks and office buildings mingle with the architecture from ages long past, where taxis and clanging trams bustle past us as we stay here for a while to admire the majesty of Milan Cathedral. From the glories of Milan, our run takes us deeper into Italy, and to the tranquil shores of Lake Garda, the largest of the Italian lakes with 100 miles of coastline. We're lucky to be travelling by coach because there's no railway service here. With its palm, lemon and orange trees, its oleanders and tall cypresses, the shores of Lake Garda are a wonderland of natural beauty for the traveller who has never before left England. We stay for lunch on a warm, sheltered peninsula at Semi-detached and enjoy fine food overlooking the calm lake and distant mountains. Afterwards, one can take a stroll on a quiet path to the fortress ruins, or walk on the quaint little pier out into the blue, blue lake. Yes, Italy is a glorious place to make you feel to be on holiday. But now, at Semi-detached, we are going to say goodbye, or arrivederci, to this party bound for Venice and the Adriatic, for we want to move north and look at other tours in the Dolomites. Unique for their castles of rock and grotesque shapes, the Dolomites form one of Europe's most exciting touring grounds. Their sheer cliffs, rising thousands of feet, are like blunt fingers pointing to the sky. The bare rock assumes different colors with changing moods of weather, and in the evening light it blushes to a rose red, called by Alp dwellers the Alpenglow. The Dolomites are a favorite mountaineering center, and it is here that climbers set out with ropes and pitons and big climbing boots in quest of adventure. Well, they are welcome to their ropes and boots, for today we prefer to do our mountaineering in the comfort and safety of a luxury coach. In the heart of the Dolomite country lies Cortino d'Ampezzo, with its great open-air stadium built for the Winter Olympic Games. To Cortina each year come sportsmen from all over the world with thoughts of climbing or skiing. But in the minds of this little party now arriving, thoughts of lunch are much more important. And lunch is an important matter when one is touring, for the keen mountain air stimulates the appetite to an extent we should scarcely consider possible or respectable at home. So here we are at one of the best hotels in Italy's most exclusive holiday resort. Wallace Arnold are proud of their team of specialist continental drivers and couriers who cover the same or similar routes month after month and year after year, gaining valuable experience and local knowledge for your benefit. And now, heading for another country, we pass through the narrow valleys of the South Tyrol. Past rocky mountain peaks and thick forests which seem almost impenetrable. Past foaming glacier torrents tumbling and roaring from the snow-capped hills above. We see white foaming rivers spanned by quaint bridges with timbered roofs. There are glimpses of centuries-old castles and churches, some perched precariously on hilltops, some nestling at the foot of tree-studded mountainsides. Perhaps the little boy doesn't always carry home the firewood for his mother. We think that all he really wants is to have his photograph taken. In this mountainous country, where chairlifts and cableways abound, the hay comes up from the lower pastures by a transport all its own. And our guess is that at the end of the day's work, the farmer and his family all come sailing up on it too. It is such glimpses of life and methods in other lands that make coach holidays so entrancing. On through Villa Bassa towards the Brenner Pass, gateway to Austria. The Roman armies crossed the Brenner long back in history. Pilgrims to Rome trod it centuries ago. And in recent times, it saw the pre-war meetings between Hitler and Mussolini. We descend into Austria, passing near two picturesque villages whose charm belies their unhappy names of Mutters and Natters. To Innsbruck, capital of the Tyrol. Innsbruck, dominated by the towering Alps that surround it, is a city of imposing buildings, beautiful gardens, and a strange variety of trams. The golden-roofed balcony from which Emperor Maximilian watched the street players below. And the Lauben, vaulted arcades of tiny shops full of those fantastic oddments we take home as presents. The townsfolk are sturdy German stock. Now, Fritz, careful. 4 hands? No hands. Oh, well, we'll go by that sundial down below. It's much more reliable. 4, it's time to move off again. Travelling northwards now, rather reluctantly, towards home. The long climb out of the Inn Valley leads to Seefeld and to Oberammergau, to the country of painted houses and wood carvings, and to Munich, capital of Bavaria, to the medieval town of Nuremberg, famous for its toy-making industry. Through the forests of Germany to the Rhine Valley, backcloth for the old castles of German legend, but now more popular and known the world over for its wonderful wines. Between steep, wooded banks, this historic river carries tourist steamers as well as heavy traffic for the great steel industries which lie far away to the north. We may be disappointed not to see the legendary Lorelei, but even a coal barge looks romantic as the evening sun turns the Rhine to gold. Bad Ems is a popular Wallace Arnold holiday centre, as well as being a night halt on some of the 6 countries tours. It is world-renowned as a spa, for it has that extra something in the atmosphere or in the water which works wonders and cures all ills. Not that we need a tonic on this holiday. We travel on down the Rhine, or up the Rhine if you're looking at a map, to Bonn and Cologne. In the shadow of the famous cathedral, it's amusing to watch the activity connected with a state lottery. These lotteries are a means of reducing taxation, and most people join in to try their luck. And who wouldn't with this spruce new car as a prize? Driver Bob is sprucing up our car, and taking good care that it isn't raffled too. So we'll buy our picture postcards and our eau de Cologne, and leave the townsfolk to sit and admire their cathedral as we move on to see more countries of Europe. More frontiers to check through. Our courier nips smartly into the little kiosk, waves his magic wand, and in less time than it takes to say Wallace Arnold, we are on our way again, towards Belgium, France, and home. As we speed along the broad motorway, which will lead us to the boat for England, it's time to leave this happy party nearing the end of their 6 countries tour, and to join a new kind of Wallace Arnold holiday, travelling by air. Personal holidays tailored to your individual tastes for either young or old. Travelling alone or in groups of 2 or 3. So easy, so swift. To almost every holiday centre in Europe and at prices you can afford. The air traveller gains the advantage of extra days of leisure and pleasure at the chosen resort, at places such as Monte Carlo, Nice or Cannes. Now you can bathe in the safe blue waters of the Mediterranean only a few hours after leaving England. The water is so clear, so beautifully warm. At San Remo, for example, there are miles of beach where you can lie and get suntan. Some have it and try to get more. Others haven't, but very soon will. Others are frightened of it, and some couldn't care less. What's the Italian for sunburn? It's fun finding out, and Antonio will help you with the phrase book. I love Italians. The brown little man is having a very busy day. How many 100,000 lira does that make? Never mind, the charges are well worth the fun one gets with this sort of a Mediterranean cruise. Slow or high speed, just as you please. Or, well, there's everything at a resort like this. We are so lucky to be here, where we know the sun will be shining almost every day, so that we can count on going to the beach today, tomorrow, and every other day. The tropical gardens are a splash of brilliant colour, gay with roses, carnations, orchids, and many other exotic blooms. The falling spray of cool fountains makes gentle music on the perfumed air. There are plenty of other attractions. You can lose your money in the casino, the largest in Italy, if that is any consolation to you. Or wander through the narrow streets of the old town to find this market, gay with the bustle and jostle of bargain-seeking shoppers. It is a place of bargaining, for no one is expected to pay the price first asked. Go on then, try Giuseppe over there. No, that pen is no use here. They said they'd meet me here in a minute. But they don't seem to know where here is. Come along, Mamie, don't you get lost too. And the over-optimistic motorist finds that it's one-way traffic, backwards. And when you're done with heat, crowds and bustle, there's the cable car to carry you 4,000 feet above the city into the cool mountain air of Monti Binoni. At the top, we can stroll in perfect peace, admire the view, visit the tiny chapel. Or indulge in yet another cup of tea or a glass of vino. For at such altitudes, one doesn't feel very energetic. smooth landing reminds us that today yet another Wallace Arnold Air Europe flight will have arrived at Venice. It was cold and wet back home this morning, yet here we are at Venice Lido in brilliant scorching heat, on the shores of the Adriatic. Even the horses wear sun hats. Don't look now, my dear, but that's the very latest Italian model with built-in ear slots. But this one is much cheaper. And the portly policeman looks smart in his well-filled tropical uniform as the visitors begin to arrive from the mainland. But we must leave the Lido and take a short steamer trip across the lagoon to the old city of Venice itself, to rejoin that six countries party we left at Sirmione. And here they are. They have come right across Italy to Venice. As far as their coach can bring them, and from the Piazza Roma, they complete their journey to the hotel by motorboat. Venice is a city literally built on piles in the shallow sea by enterprising merchants in the days of Marco Polo. It is a fascinating mixture of Byzantine and Gothic architecture. Rising above the skyline, we see the bell tower of St. Mark's Cathedral, the blue dial clock tower built in 1499, and the Gothic Doge's Palace with its facade of white and pink marble and magnificent columns. Why, what's this? A gondola on the lagoon? Out of the way, you've no business here. How does the gondolier manage to balance on the very edge of his frail craft without falling in? He will explain with dignity, "Signor, I'm a gondolier de Venezia, I never fall in." Oh well, not to worry, there are plenty more. And surely these are some of our coach party again. They certainly look as though they're enjoying their stay in Venice. To sail on the canals in a gondola is something every visitor to Venice just has to do, even if only to tell the neighbors back home. So all this is arranged for you, with best quality gondoliers who don't fall in. The famous Bridge of Sighs, so called because in Casanova's time, prisoners crossed it on their way to execution. The colonnade, here by the bridge, is part of the Doge's Palace, which contains some of the world's most valuable paintings. Among them, Tintoretto's vast Paradise, 75 feet long, and said to be the largest picture ever painted on canvas. On the pink clock tower, a pair of figures have been patiently striking the hours for over 500 years. At last we're in the very heart of Venice. In the Piazza San Marco are the famous pigeons. Yes, I know there are pigeons just as hungry in Trafalgar Square, but these speak Italian, and they understand photography too. Where's the birdie that's supposed to come out of this thing? A merchant of Venice. And would this be a Venetian blind on a French window or a French blind on a Venetian window? At siesta time, everyone rests. A gondolier dreams of the lunch he has just enjoyed. And the porter dreams of... never mind. As we stroll leisurely through the peaceful streets, the mood of romance steals upon us. From such half-shuttered windows, the melody of a Neapolitan love song may float out across the quiet courtyards. At every turn, we expect to hear some enchanting voice. Perhaps here, or here. Yes, listen. With streets as narrow as that, it is no wonder that all the trade of Venice moves by water. fruit on its way to your hotel table. How much more romantic than lorries clattering through city streets? So what more fitting climax to our Venetian holiday could there be than a cruise down the Grand Canal, though not, of course, in this fruit barge. It seems there is a parking problem even in Venice. The Rialto Bridge, with its unique humpback of shops, span this great water thoroughfare. The bridge we have so often seen in pictures, straight towards it, and under, as though we were gliding right close together. But this really is Venice. Though Wallace Arnold have brought us here at leisure, through the rich changing scenes of 6 countries, or carried us high above the clouds, we have effort or worry. The continent of Europe is ours to enjoy.